In 9 AD, the Roman Empire was trying to establish dominance over the untamed Germanic territories. The task of bringing order to this challenging frontier had been entrusted to the governor of Germania, Publius Quinctilius Varus. But someone Rome trusted was secretly preparing a devastating betrayal: Arminius. Arminius was the son of a Cherusci tribal leader. Captured by the Romans at a young age, he was raised, educated, and granted Roman citizenship. He rose through the ranks as a disciplined and skilled soldier. To Varus, Arminius was invaluable. He understood both the Roman military and the local tribes, but Arminius had made his choice. He would fight not for Rome, but for his own people. Around that time, several Germanic tribes began launching small attacks on Roman forces. These seemed like disorganized raids, but in reality, they were coordinated by Arminius himself. Varus, however, failed to see through the double game. One day, Varus received a report of an uprising in the west. With his 3 legions, around 30,000 troops, he set out to suppress it. Arminius volunteered to guide the army, and on the morning of September 7th, he led the Roman legions toward what he claimed was a safe route through the Teutoburg Forest. As the Roman troops advanced, single file along narrow forest paths, Arminius rode just ahead of Varus. Without a word, he disappeared into the depths of the forest. This would be his last appearance in a Roman uniform. Varus did not realize it at the time, but from that moment on, the Roman army was no longer marching down a road. It was walking straight into a trap. Arminius removes his Roman armor and returns to his true self, a Germanic warrior. Arrows, stones, and spears rain down from both sides, shaking the Roman ranks. The legions struggle to form a defensive line in the narrow forest path. Arminius orders the Bructeri tribe to charge. Soon, both sides will clash in brutal hand-to-hand combat. the Germanic tribes retreat. The purpose of the initial assault was not to destroy the Romans instantly, but to instill fear in them. Varus, realizing that Arminius and some of the local guides had disappeared, comes to understand, albeit too late, that he has been betrayed. He decides to push toward an open area to set up camp and reconsider his next tactical move. That night, he speaks with his commanders, and they agree to continue westward, towards the Rhine. The soldiers are tired, hopeless, and trapped, and the forest is hungry for Roman blood. If they don't find a way out soon, this forest will become their grave. The Romans continue their march westward, but soon the forest begins to thicken once again. Arminius has already chosen the site for his second attack. He waits for Varus to enter that specific area. Varus is aware that an ambush is likely, but he is uncertain about the time, location, and scale of the attack. Since yesterday, rain has been falling steadily. The ground has turned to mud, making movement difficult. Arminius knows this terrain well. He is fully aware that the Roman legions, weighed down by heavy armor, will struggle to move in such conditions. The Germanic warriors are attacking from all directions. The Roman soldiers can barely stay on their feet. It is a complete massacre. The ruthless and savage Germanic fighters are cutting down the Romans one by warriors withdraw once again, but the second assault is far more brutal than the first. Varus loses many of his most experienced soldiers. Despite the heavy losses, a portion of his army manages to survive. In just 2 days, the Germanic tribes descend upon the Romans like a nightmare, unleashing hell upon them. As evening falls, Varus sets up camp once more, desperately searching for a way out. This time, a different plan is made. A small group of surviving cavalry is sent north to request reinforcements from a Roman outpost. The remaining troops are to hold their position and defend until help arrives. However, the cavalry never reaches the outpost. Just a few kilometers into their journey, they are ambushed and brutally slaughtered. When the news reaches Varus, the collapse of his final plan has a devastating effect. Realizing that there is no way out, Varus takes his own life. To fall into the hands of the Germanic tribes is a fate worse than death. Many of his high-ranking officers follow the same path. In the end, a handful of surviving soldiers and several senior officers move westward in search of an escape route. However, they are halted by a barricade blocking their path. Just as they attempt to push through, Arminius launches a final surprise attack from the rear. With this last assault, the Roman force is completely annihilated. The 17th, 18th, and 19th legions are wiped out, never to be reformed again. After the battle, the sacred Roman eagle standards fall into the hands of the Germanic tribes. The few surviving Roman soldiers are sacrificed to the gods of the Germans. Six years later, during the reign of Emperor Tiberius, the Romans return to the region under the command of Germanicus. They survey the battlefield and gather the scattered bones and belongings of fallen soldiers, giving them a proper burial. The Roman historian Tacitus describes the moment. No soldier knew whom he was burying, yet they buried them as if they were their own kin. Another historian recounts how the pain of the defeat echoed through Rome in the words of Emperor Augustus.
Varus! Oh! Quinctilius Varus! Give me back my legions!
Thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you soon in the next chapter of history.